All right, guys, this is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and we are back with another Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play mystery shard only run champion spotlight. I apologize today. I'm a little bit sick. I don't know what the hell I have, but you know what? We are still going to look at Steel Bowyer, so my voice is going to sound sultry, very, very deep and sultry. I know you guys are excited. All right, so we're going to look at Steel Bowyer and see what she's about. We actually finished her. We finished out actually four heroes, so you can expect a lot of champion spotlights to be coming out very soon. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at Steel Bowyer and what makes her so amazing and why we push to build her even though we don't need any more dark elves. All right, so let's look at her skills. She's got an A1, attacks one enemy two times, has a 35% chance of placing a 50% decrease accuracy debuff for 2 turns, which is really nice actually. I don't really hate decrease accuracy on an A1. That's fine. Attacks one enemy two times on her A2. Heals this champion by 50% of the damage inflicted on each critical hit. So that's going to be basically a built-in lifesteal, which is nice. Then we have an attack on all enemies. Damage increases according to enemy max HP. So this is basically the same kind of skill that we put on what's his name? Armiger. So yeah, you can use her against really high-end enemies, and she's going to do more and more damage the higher level the enemy is and the more HP the damn thing has. So that's actually really cool. Let's take a look at her masteries and what we did. So basically we went down more of a defensive set. We didn't really care so much about accuracy on her because I don't care about the decreased accuracy, I'll be honest. So we pretty much put her into defense so that she can stay alive a little bit longer, do some counterattacks and things like that. And we went straight down into Helm Smasher so she can bust through people's defenses. She's not going to really need War Master so much because she's going to be doing a reasonable amount of damage. And yeah, we just didn't do it. We might change it, but that's where we're at right now. And so far, it's been working pretty well. Let's look at what we've got on her gear. We basically went with this skill for speed and for ignoring defense. So yeah, instinct, great set, and then we put her in crit rate. We would be normally doing this as crit damage. We actually got lucky and got crit damage on her glove actually for a bless and for awakening. So that's actually nice, 7%. We've got attack on her chest and we've got speed on her boots, and then we did attack, crit damage, and accuracy on the banner just because why not, right? Well, just in case we can get that decreased accuracy. I may actually end up switching it out to attack straight because this right here, I really went for the speed because I wanted her to be a little bit faster. That was the main reason I think I put it on her. But yeah, we could easily switch this out for an attack piece, but I honestly think I didn't really have one that was good for speed. That was the problem. Yeah, see, I don't have any right now that have straight attack, so unfortunately we can't really do that. So that's why we did what we did, but it did have an attack +3, so whatever. Total stats on her right as of this moment are 34,500 HP. We've got 4484 on attack. So with an attack banner, yeah, we can push this pretty high up there, which would be nice. Defense is at just shy of 2,000, so we'd like to get that up a little bit. Speed 217. Look at that crit rate, 106, guys. I know, right? I built her a while ago and started working on her, so that's why she looks at least a little bit more reasonable. Crit damage is 173. Once again, I would love to have this in like that 250, 280 range and get this down to like maybe 80, just switched around, but we'll see how it goes. Resistance 200 and accuracy is 247. So this is just the initial build. We'll see how she does. Now, where is she going to be good? I mean, honestly, arena is not her thing. I really don't think arena is going to be a place for her unless you're up against a random team that just happens to have a lot of HP, which could be this person here. Actually, let's just see. Let's give it a shot. We're gonna take out you, and then we're gonna bring in my girl because she is actually where is she at? Over here? Because she's actually red also. So let's just see. I'm just curious. We're not gonna try and kill Siffy right off the cuff. Let me see if because like I said, she's going to use her debuffs anyway, so it's fine. So we're going to do an increase in attack. She's going to have defense up, so that's going to hurt, but let's see. All right, so let's just take her turn meter away. So he did 25,000 with that attack, right? Let's see what her regular skill does here. This is the big one. So 14,000, because once again, we're not fighting something that's, high HP. But I wanted to say, just in general, for just to kind of compare it. Let's see how she does with her single skill. Let's go and find someone else who we can beat on. I don't want to beat Skeletor up. All right, this one, you know what? That's an annoying team. We don't want to do. I don't feel like dealing with sleeps and stuff. Let's see. Where can we go? Really, just want to see how she does against the. Yeah, she's not that arbiter is not going to be strong enough. All right, you know what? Let's see if they're fast. Let's see if they're faster than us. If they outspeed us, we can still lose to this team. Like that's the funny part. If this team, she's fast, we're screwed. All right, so here we go. We got that. Now, what I'm going to do here is instead of freezing everyone, we're just going to take her out because we don't want the speed. So now we're going to use the AoE on everyone. Let's see what happens here. All right, so 38, 36. That wasn't bad, actually. I wasn't even mad at that. And now his AoE, 28. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it could be reasonable in here. But once again, it's based on HP, so I don't know if I would really do that. And then we're going to go in and fight her because she has a lot of HP. I want to see what her single target damaged is. Let's see how this is. So we do attack up and speed up. She's going to probably have a lot of HP. I can't imagine her dying in one hit. Exactly. There we go. All right, so now we're going to use this skill. This is the one that attacks one enemy 2 times and heals. So let's see what this does. Now, it's the wrong affinity, so unfortunately, she probably won't crit. Yep, 6 and 8, which ain't that bad, but boom, she's going to die more. Oh, everyone's missing the crits. All right, we'll get one more hit. We'll see what her A1 does if she doesn't die. And she died, unfortunately. Who's she strong against? Let's see. She's red, so we want like a Death Knight. That's what we want. So yeah, this is a terrible fight. Let's do this. I like it. Let's do this. I'm always a fan of doing terrible fights. All right, so no stone skin. All right, great. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we do attack up. Now we're going to freeze everyone because we know we have a defensive team. And then we're going to use single target. No, we're going to do the AoE. We're going to see how this works. So this is a real team now. This is a team that you guys will probably be fighting, and this is what might come up. So let's see what she does. So 11,000, not great. All right. Single target. But these are all defensive heroes now we're talking about. So now we've got that. We're going to go for Death Knight, unfortunately. And we're going to kill Death Knight because we have to. We have no other choice. All right, so now she's green. So let's use this to see what it does. 13,000, 14,000. That's all right. So 28, not bad. Let's do this. I ain't mad at it. Let's put it that way. Let's remove all this crap. We don't want you to have buffs. All right, let's kill you, hopefully. All right, she's frozen. That worked out well. And now single target. Boom, 4,000. So yeah, her regular skills aren't really worth arena, I wouldn't say. But yeah, 69, save versus 100 and 111, 117. So I really don't think arena is going to be her playground. Is she going to be good here? I mean, if you have her and you got no one else, then sure, why not? All right, so Faction Wars, unfortunately, is not open. We cannot go in there to do it. But yeah, I mean, you could use her in there, and that's definitely not going to hurt. Having the decreased accuracy could help with maybe fears and things like that for the boss. Dungeons is really where I think you're going to end up seeing her be a little more, focused on things that you could do. She is red, right? So let's try her out in stage 8. So now normally we have this team. Taya is great for killing things, but we're going to pull her anyway and bring her in. I want to see how she does against against the enemy of the same affinity. Start. We're going to see how she handles herself with damage. That's really all we care about with her. Because the whole thing is that we're going to want her to cycle through her main attack as quickly as possible, which is why we want her faster. But she's not as fast as we definitely would like her in the long term. The other thing is her AI is a little weird. You're going to have to change her. That's what I've noticed. You're going to have to change it where she always uses that main hit first because she's just not using it. All right, so let's pause this for a second. I want her to use that skill. Speed up. And all right, she already did use it then, I guess. So there you go. I thought she didn't use it. That actually was not bad. All right, let's keep it on auto. It's weird on a single target because you don't know if she's using her AoE or not. So I guess it's screwed with my head. It's screwed with my head a little bit. She's doing reasonable damage. Like I'm already seeing pretty high-end numbers. Granted, we're not fighting. We're not using a team that's like based on straight damage. So like Kale and Mithrala although some of the best damage dealers in the game, they're not going to do as much damage like on the screen. Like you're not going to see like, oh, 50 million damage. Like you're just going to see a bunch of poison ticks, and it's just going to be like 100K. I mean, no, not 100K, like 10K, 5K, 5K, and it's just going to keep adding up. Now, as you can see, her defense is not that high, so at higher levels of Iron Twins, she may end up faltering a bit. You might have to add some more defense to her, or just have some really good revivers and uh, buffers that can keep her defense up, like Mithrala. See, there you go. Even with Mithrala in here, remember this is only stage 8, so she's getting beat a little bit. Granted, we usually have to revive somebody. All right, so let's see what we got. So total damage, she did 367,000. She beat Mithrala and she beat Darkgale. So yeah, that's actually not bad. I actually like that. So yeah, great damage dealer for these kinds of fights. And remember, here's the thing. This was stage 8, which means her main attack is going to do even more damage at higher level. So yeah, if you can keep her alive in the higher areas, she's going to do some crazy damage. Let me see. Let's go into Spider's Den. Let's check out. I don't know if I want to do stage 20. Mm, yeah, let's try it. All right, so this is not my team. So now my normal Spider team. All right, Spider. So this is the normal Spider team. We have our Burns. We have him for turn meter manipulation. She's there. I'll be honest. I don't know if we need her. Let's take her out and bring in. Now, if this happens, it means we can't die, is what this means. So let's just see what happens. Because Sill's there to have a reviver. That's what she was there for originally. We haven't changed this in a while, so let's just see what she does. So this is Spider 20 now. Let's see how she handles herself here. If we can get a best time on this, it would be great. It's funny how she doesn't like to use her AoE. She's like, I hate it. Big game. There you go. Whoa, that was 100 and what the hell was that? 166,000 I just saw. Question is, are they going to target her? You know what I mean? That's the other thing because I'm just throwing her into a team that's tuned for Spider. So we'll see. I'm hoping she does. She does. Yep. She's going to get targeted now, so that's the problem. So we got to be able to keep her alive. Luckily, she's actually built for Clan Boss, so she has the. I think she has the counters. The freezes should be good enough to keep her at bay. She's getting a lot of turns. Funny enough. Got the burns. Thrill the hunt. I want to see the other skill go off. We have it down to, I think, 5 turns. I think she uses it. She's got a counter. Hopefully she doesn't die. Oh, she died. Yeah, so we'd have to give her more HP to bring her in here. I'm curious how much damage she did there. See, because now they're going to target him. So we would just need to give her more HP. So we could, I mean, technically, you could put an HP banner on her since I don't need that accuracy. You could get an HP banner just to keep her HP high for this fight. And then, boom, you've got yourself a spider killer. See, I'm just curious how much damage she did already. We should probably see. Let's just pause it. Let's see. End battle. I don't know if it's going to tell us how much we did, right? Let's check. All right, so we did. All right, so here we go. Just from that point, I mean, look, Yukarl's got that crazy AoE. He did 3 million damage versus her. Yeah, so obviously this is probably not her playground either. So maybe not the spider. But yeah, you could use her here. I mean, the fire is just crazy though. I mean, the burns from Akoth are insane, so this is a little bit weird. So would I use her here? I mean, no, probably not. Looks like because Yukarl brings as much as that damage is great, the burns from these two are what kills the boss, really. And then Yukarl's there to manage the boss so that you're not fighting the boss. You're only fighting the ads. So Yeah, I don't know if I would bring her in here even with the HP. But like I said, if you don't have Akoth and you don't have Drex and you're trying to push forward, then yeah, you could use her as a damage dealer. Um, she was only alive for a little bit because, like I said, they targeted her, unfortunately. So we couldn't really get that skill off. So she would be doing, look at this. If she had survived and got another hit, we let it run for a few turns, she would have gotten off that big hit again. So she would have done more damage than Drex at that point. So there is that. Because Drex is a little weird. He's great, but the spiders have to attack him to get the burns in order for it to really work because he's going to be focused on the boss. So his burns come from getting attacked. Acos burns come from him attacking. So he's going to get his damage quicker than Drex. Drex is, you could leave Drex by himself and he'll do it. So I wouldn't need both of them technically to get through this, but having both of them makes it so you could beat the fight a little easier. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if like I said, I would bring her if I had no other options, is what I would do, honestly, for this. Stage selection. Let's go look. I do love her, though. She is still one of my favorites. All right. So essentially, the same situation is going to go for probably every one of these fights, where we're going to be using her when we don't technically need her. So that's a stage 20. The defense down. We actually just did stage 25 with this team, and we're going to pull her out and bring in her. So we're going to see. So we still have defense down. We still have, all the other things we need. We just don't have any revives once again. So we're not using a revive. We're doing this on the assumption that we can do it without it and without dying. Carl's coming in. Big game. Look at that. 53. Wow, she actually did some pretty reasonable damage there. They just blasted that wave. But then she doesn't like. I think the main thing that's stopping her from being amazing damage is her cooldowns. Because Armiger can use his big hit every other turn. You know what I mean? That's basically how he works. He just has two skills, and that's it. You know what I mean? So the problem here might end up being that she has to wait like 5 turns, I think it is, to use that skill. 4 or 5 turns if she doesn't get any, cooldown changes or anything like that. So you would have to speed her up in order to be as good. This is why Armiger is so good. I mean, she's just as good if you're not using Armiger, but yeah, it's just tough because he gets it every other turn. So it would be hard to justify using her, unfortunately, over other heroes like Armiger. But I want to see how much damage her thing does here. Hopefully we can get another big game before he dies. Thrill the Hunt. That's actually not bad. 100 and something K right there. It's more than your Carl usually hits. Because funny enough, your Carl sucks for the Dragon Balls. All right, so there you go. 165. And remember, we don't even have high crit damage on her right now. So we have 173, which is, I mean, it's good, but it's not like, oh my God. Like, you're my best hero. Like, your Carl, I think, is like 250, 285. So just to kind of give you an idea of where her damage is at. Boom. All right, so let's see what she did. So Mithril did 900. Yukara, once again, because of his, remember, this is because of their AoEs during the fights. She actually beat Dark Kale. So that's not bad, actually. But granted, Dark Kale's better for long fights. He has to be able to have time. Same thing as Mithrala. These two really need, but she had her AoEs during the waves. So these two got most of that damage from the waves. And so did she, actually, funny enough, because she hit with that big hit. So is she good? I mean, here's the thing. She is good, but is she better than everyone else I have? We're 2.5 years into this game, so would I build like I did build her, but I'm saying like would I build her like now at the point that I'm in the game to beat certain content? Probably not, just because we already have a lot of teams that are set up for these fights that work more than well. If this was my first 6 months to a year and I'm starting the game and I have her, would I use her? Yeah, because you could bring her and Armiger, and maybe they both just wreck bosses. You know what I mean? So there is a plus side to this. Ooh, hiccup! Because I found out that a lot of bosses die with like fires and burns and poisons, to where Armiger doesn't become that useful. Now, like a spider, for instance, that could be something useful. The ones that have so much HP that you just want to punch yourself in the face. So let's go into Doom Tower, because this is really the test. We're not going to go into hard mode. I want to see in normal, because I don't want this to be a 20-hour fight. So we're going to go into normal mode. We got to use keys anyway, right? So now this team, all the way at the top, we've got our spider. This is the team we use. We have Burns and we have this. Now, from what I've seen, Drex is usually the better version here for Burns, just because a Akoth just never lands them. So what we're gonna do here is this: we're gonna bring in her, and we're just gonna see if this team works. So we're gonna do a super raid because I want to get my keys used. We'll see how this goes. I'm curious myself. Oh wait, we are autoing this, guys. We are not. I have no qualms here. You're not gonna see any damage from her. That's really insane until the boss. Same thing with Armiger. You're gonna not see like they use the later rest. Look at that 7k damage, garbage. All right. As soon as we get to the boss, though, you're gonna start seeing some crazy damage from both Armiger and her. And this is actually cool because we're gonna see both of them in action. With the block revive is nice. I'm more curious about the damage itself rather than are they going to win? Because I have no doubt they can beat it. It's really just whether or not they get the either the unkillable thing, the sorry block revive or the burns off while they're fighting. With only it's the only reason I bring Akoth is because it gives us the chance to actually have two burns. I'm more curious about her main skill damage. All right, so those are regular. He did whatever. All right. Let's see if we're gonna use his laid to rest. Watch, about to say we're gonna get frozen. All right, so here's laid to rest on the boss. All right, this is his Armiger's big hit. 248,000. All right, so that's one. And then we've got him. Speed it up. All right, so now she still has one more turn before she uses it. Thrill of the hunt. All right, let's do some provoking so that the baby spiders are annoyed. Okay, it's fine. We'll turn meter drop the little baby so we don't have to deal with her. And whatever, sure. Like I said, this fight's not hard, so it's not like this team's gonna have any trouble here. All right, burn them up. So it seems like the burn's working pretty well. All right, so we're gonna do one more hit just to kind of give it an idea. So 277, so that's two hits. So now here's hers. So he already got 500k damage out of that. All right, she did 262. All right, but she hit everyone. So yeah, I think Armiger Faster is going to do the job that you want her to do much easier. Now, if you have something like this where the enemy has, for this specific fight, is Armiger better? Well, yes, because he has block revive, which is the whole point of bringing him into this fight. And he can do a lot of damage to make the fight go quicker. So having both of them on the team might actually be useful. That's what I'm trying to say here. So if she can use that skill on all three enemies, she's getting one turn per his, two, basically. So, but she's going to be hitting three enemies at once. So the damage, if you're using them specifically to remove damage from, remove HP, yeah, she could be useful for this fight just to get the babies down. But then once the babies are down, she's not going to be as useful. But she's going to hit for the same amount of damage as Armiger. But once again, she doesn't have the crit damage that Armiger may have. So maybe we'll do a comparison just real quick at the end of this, just to see. But yeah, we don't need to watch the whole thing. There you go, 278, and she did another 200 on these guys. So she's pulling out about 500k damage on the full wave versus Armiger's 240 to 270 ish, which is what she's going to land to. So he just hit it again, 280. We also don't have any buffs right now, and there's also no defense down. Just to kind of see. So there's defense up, there's attack up, there's all kinds of stuff that we could do to make this probably a little more effective than it is right now. And then what we would do is we would change Armiger to be using only his main hit as much as possible because we don't really need his turn meter manipulation. It's fine. Not for this round at least. Maybe for higher ends we might need it, but right now no. See, 297, he's hitting harder. Boom. All right, let's pause this. End battle. But we know they're going to win, so we're not worried about it. All right, so let's look. So Armiger, look at this. See what I mean? 2.26 million. And even with her hitting three enemies, It's 1.37. Granted, she would have gotten another hit, so she'd probably still, just to be fair to her, she would have been around 1.8 million versus him. But look, Drex is doing 4.5. So those burns are just too good. So here's the general idea of Steel Boyer. And it sucks because she is a very good hero. Like she is really good and she's doing great damage. The problem is that by the time I got her, she's just essentially useless except for specific fights where you can only use, dark elves, where you might be fighting a high HP enemy and then you're limited. But the fights that we're doing now aren't really, she's not necessary because you have Armiger, and Armiger obviously can do a lot more damage to a single enemy quicker. So unless we find a situation, like we actually used her in Chimera and she did fine, like she actually put up pretty good damage in there, but she wasn't as strong as Carl. So it's just like there was no point leaving her separate. She doesn't bring any debuffs to the table, so besides lower accuracy, she's not going to do too much. So the general idea here is if you're early game the first year and you have her, use her. All right. You can probably bust through a lot of stuff before you get before you're getting Akoth and before you have Drex and things like that. She's not bad and she can do a lot of damage and she might help you out in some areas that you might be lacking in. So yeah, if you're early game, I would say build her. If you're late game, this might be one that you push to the back. I'll let you guys know if something changes where I think she becomes amazing. But she is, once again, she is a great hero. Unfortunately, she's just overshadowed at this point by 2 years, 2.5 years of other, heroes that we have that just do everything that we need her to do. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions, things you want to talk about, place you use her, throw some crit damage on her. Maybe she'll actually do some, insane damage. She can probably do double the damage she has right now if you give her some crit damage. But yeah, if you guys have anything that you use her in, specific sets, ways that specific fights that she's useful for, feel free to leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. It helps the channel grow. And yeah, we do a live show every single week. Hopefully, I am not as throat sicky by the time we do that this week, so that I don't sound very deep. And yeah, you can become a member if you like for $1.99 a month. And yeah, you get free stuff every single week, a video with no commercial interruptions. You get some emojis, and you get my heart and soul. All right, so yeah, this is Steel Boyer, the awesome hero that is just unfortunately not as awesome as she could be at this point in the game. This is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and you guys take care.